What is up, guys? It's Jimbo here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over how to get the dead messenger. Going to be doing a review of the weapon and I'll give some thoughts on it, and I'll also do an updated video on the gun when we get the catalyst in future and when I use it in some builds and such. So yeah, if you are new here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Stick around on the channel for more Witch Queen videos. We're on the road to 6k. It'd be appreciated if you were able to help us get there. But without further ado, let's get into the dead messenger. So to get the dead messenger, it's a very easy process. The mission itself is pretty tough because it's a high power level, but essentially what you need to do is go to the war table in the helm and get yourself the seasonal quest. Work through all of the quest steps, which will make you go through and do a PsyOps battleground. It'll also have you go and get a bunch of intel, which you'll follow the quest steps and it'll tell you how to do that. You then need to run another PsyOps battleground when you have enough of the intel to get a runic drop, and essentially that will help progress the quest. There's 7 steps, so I'm not going to waste too much time on that here to go through that. And then when you get through that quest, Keitel will give you a briefing at the war table and will give you the quest Kill the Messenger, and there's going to be another variation of this for the catalyst in a couple of weeks, I'm guessing. The Kill the Messenger quest will allow you to go into a mission that's on the throne world called Vox Obscura, and this essentially is a little bit of a timed quest. It's also a little bit of running around in vehicles and such. I'll put some gameplay up. Essentially, you'll be going through it, trying to do these different objectives within the time. It is 1550 recommended power, so if you are going under this, a couple of levels under, you may have to wait until you're a little bit higher, do some powerful level grinding, and then jump into it. I'm not going to go through a full guide on how to complete the mission here because I want to talk about the dead messenger, but that's it. Once you complete the mission for the dead messenger, and you get to the end of the final boss encounter, it will drop at the end, and there's going to be a master version of this which will drop the catalyst, I'm sure, in a couple of weeks or so. So yeah, let's jump into the weapon and talk about the dead messenger. So let's go over the dead messenger. Let's look at its stats first and foremost. Got blast radius of 55, velocity of 94, stability of 34, handling of 73, and a reload speed of 64. Uses 72 RPM and has 1 in the magazine. The key perk that you need to worry about is its intrinsic exotic perk, and that is Trinary Vision. One-shot handheld grenade launcher. Projectiles release a fan of 3 energy waves when you are getting contact with the ground. So it's a wave frame, and also the fundamentals change this weapon's damage type. Essentially, you can switch between Solar, Arc, and Void by holding the R button or your reload button. So for example, I'll show you here. When you fire at the floor, it sends out a wave of 3, and if you press R, you can swap on the fly. It's different to Hard Light in the sense of you don't have to reload a new shell. You can just swap between all of them. So this thing has going to have a bunch of different usages in different builds, purely because it's a waveframe and it has this thing available to it. So yeah, let's break into the weapon and talk about its overall stats and damage and such. Now that we've had a look at the weapon, let's talk about its reload speed and some of the damage numbers on it so you can kind of see what we are working with. When it comes to this weapon, it's got around about a 5.3 second reload speed, and that's roughly how long it takes to do 2 magazines. That's for fire, reload, fire again, and then a reload. I'm not going to be doing a full breakdown of how long it takes to fire off a whole magazine because there's massive amounts of DPS stuff that we can also dive into as well, but I don't want to do that here. I just want to tell you a little bit about the weapon and go through my thoughts and such. So let's talk about the actual damage on the weapon. It's quite nuts because on all 3 of the element types, it stays the same damage. There's no increase. It's 24,668 per shot, and that's when you hit it with a frame on the floor when you fire a grenade at the floor, and then it's able to go from there. You can potentially get the impact of a nade and then get it to land, which would do a decent amount more. I think it's around about 2 hits for about 5,068, and that's 2 hits. And then obviously if it lands in the right place, it's going to be able to do a bunch of extra damage because it obviously gets that 24,000 on top. But I would also recommend that you use this on Void, especially this season, because it has a lot of synergy with the new Void subclass, and also Font of Might. If you use Font of Might and you also use Elemental Wellmaker, that type of stuff, you're going to be able to get a 20% increase when you pick up an Elemental Well, especially with the Void weapons that you are using. And also, there's going to be some fragments that will allow you to make weapons that are Void have volatile rounds. So I'll see if that actually works here with the Dead Messenger. But let's go through my overall thoughts on the weapon. My first initial thoughts are this weapon is crazy. There's going to be a lot of usage in different builds, and I think it's going to have a lot to do in the meta of PvE when it comes to making builds. Not necessarily potentially at the high end, but for sure across the just regular play of the game. You're going to be able to use this with Arc. You're going to be able to use this with Solar. You're going to be able to use this with Void. Combine it with any number of different weapons. It's in the energy slot, so it does take up that. So rockets could potentially be very good to combination with this, alongside kinetic weapons as well. And being a wave frame that's also like hard light is just pretty damn insane. I'm gonna have a build in future when I've done some leveling and stuff, and I'll re-review this weapon in the future, especially, and just give some more thoughts on it, and especially when I'm making a build about the weapon. But yeah, definitely go and pick this up. It's pretty damn awesome. Last thing to add as well is we haven't even got the catalyst for this yet. There's going to be a master version of the quest that we did to get this. So yeah, adding the catalyst in, whether or not it increases the damage or it increases the amount that we are able to fire, I don't know, something just crazy. Would it make it stasis? If it's just to make it stasis as well, that'd be stupid. But obviously they wouldn't put the stasis in the energy slot. But yeah, we'll find out more when we get the catalyst, and I'll do a video on that in future as well. But if this video has been helpful, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, and turn on the notification bell as always. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on that notification bell, really helps out and gives you an update when I bring out new content. But as always, this has been It's Jimbo, and I'll see you guys next time.